Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Vidita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaskute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura-Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Shivadaya Krishna Santi Prabhupada Shri Giriraja Swami Sri Bhakta-Ramadas Vibhuti Krishna has said that Shrimati Bhakti Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravanam Pracharani Nirvishesha Shri Mukham Karoti Gacharam Bhumi Mangalavati Nityapatam Shri Guru Dinapam Hare Krishna. So we are discussing chapter 4 Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, then text 19. So we have been discussing about what is karma, right? Very difficult to know and understand what is karma. But Krishna is explaining. Yes, text 19. Yasya sarve samarambha
Yasya sarve samarambha
kama sankalpa varjitaha
Kama sankalpa varjitaha
jnanagni dagdha karmanam
Jnanagni dagdha
karmanam
karmanam
tam ahu panditam buddha.
Tam ahu panditam buddha.
So one is understood to be in full knowledge with every endeavor. Remember, we are discussing about karma, the law of karma. I mean, our own action and therefore the result of action, right? And now Krishna is saying that someone who's in full knowledge, meaning that's why we are sitting here together, to acquire knowledge. So when we are in full knowledge, every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. We do not have any karma, right? This desire for sense gratification. Can you switch on this fan on? It's troubling me. He's said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Yeah. If it's okay for you?
Yeah, it's okay. It's quite
Yeah.
cool outside.
Yeah. I think we want some heat right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a little cold, but if we look at all this, everyone better come and sit and read, right? So one is understood to be a person in full knowledge whose every endeavor, everything that we do, every single thing acted, samarambha, any attempts at work that we do is devoid of desire for self gratification. So can we check ourselves? Can we check ourselves when we are doing something? For whom am I doing? Right? Am I doing for myself, for my family members, for my greater community, or am I doing it for Krishna? He's said by sages to be a worker for whom the reaction of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So this person who is acting for Krishna only, there is no reaction, there is no karma. Only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. So if you look at like an ordinary worker, and you look at a devotee, and we discussed last week, they look same. Well, actually they are not same. One is working entirely for Krishna, and the other one is working only for his own self. Because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities, it is to be understood it has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Person Godhead. So he's fixed, or she's fixed in that understanding, not just understanding, but in his heart, in his consciousness. He's seeing himself as a dasi. Absolutely whatever he or she is doing, person who is in Krishna consciousness is only a das or dasi. Not doing any work that is for his own or her own self. Development of this knowledge of eternal servitorship to the Lord is compared to fire. My God, so there is a comparison given here. Once we agree, we surrender to Krishna and we start working only for Krishna, this become like a fire. Agni, Jnana Agni. Jnana Agni Dagdha Karmanam. Dagdha means burn up. So this Jnana is an Agni that burn up the reaction to all our work. Because now we accept that I'm das. So, tamahu panditam. So he's a learned person. Panditam. Panditam. A pandit. Pandit doesn't mean somebody who's just doing the rituals. Alright, Pandit means somebody who is learned. Alright, and Panditam and Buddha. He has great intelligence. So this chapter is entitled,
Transcendental knowledge.
alright, this is about knowledge. So this is about knowledge. So Krishna is giving perfect knowledge so that our karma is burned. Text 20. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatripto nirashrayah karmanyabhi pravrittopi neva kinchit karoti saha. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. This freedom from the bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness, when one is doing everything for Krishna. So everybody is being chased by this danda of karma. And everybody knows that Shanidev is the one who is holding that danda. But when we are acting for Krishna, he has no work. Right? No danda. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Person Godhead. And therefore he has no attraction for the results of the action. So we have to check ourselves. Even as we go higher and higher in our spiritual life, you don't know what dirt is sitting where, and you don't know when suddenly it comes up. How do we know? Suddenly I feel envious of this person. Why this person successful? Why am I not successful? And how do we measure success? By how many followers we have, Janam, we have taken birth in an aristocratic family, Janma Aishwarya. This is Kunti Maharani. She speaks about these. Janma have taken, birth in great families, well-known family, Janma Aishwarya. Opulence, so much opulence I have. Aishwarya. Shruta, I'm very learned. I'm well read. Shruta Shri Bhir, I'm very beautiful. Right? So, someone who is Krishna conscious doesn't have any attraction for any of these things. He's not even attached to his personal maintenance, but everything is left to Krishna. So we worry too much about how I'll maintain. Whereas the devotee is busy working for Krishna and he's not worried about how he will maintain. Why? Because he knows that Krishna will take care. Alright? Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He's anxious, I should make sure I have this, I should have this. And whatever I have, I have to make sure that I don't lose it. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. So it's not that he's going to just sit and do nothing. No. Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you do everything, but you leave it to me. Right? Such an unattached person is already free from the resultant reactions of good and bad. It is as though he were not doing anything. The devotees, see, everybody, we come with our karma. And usually we won't even be engaged in Krishna's seva if we haven't practiced for a long, long time. Many lifetimes we have practiced. So then when we come and we are actually engaged in Krishna's service, then it's only like remnants of karma is there. You follow? Fifth canto Bhagavatam, it describes the different planetary systems in this Bhumandala. So it describes that how uh, so it describes how the devas, they're in different parts of the Jambudvip, and so they pray and even higher. So when their punya is exhausted, they have to come back here on planet Earth and they have to practice again. Alright? So, but devotees, they are not just going up and down. Devotees are practicing how to go back to Krishna. So they give up all attachment to Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribhir. They give up all this type of attachment. So they are only thinking, how can I serve Krishna? So they may go as a byproduct of their good activities, they may go to heavenly planet. But when they come back on earth, they retain their sukriti in bhakti, not just in pious deed. Punya is something different, bhakti is something different. So, if for some reason we haven't completed our bhakti properly, then some remnant is left and we have to take birth to complete that journey. So here, Prabhupada is saying that he does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is already free from the resultant reactions of good or bad. And though he may not, as it is as though he were not doing anything. This is the sign of akarma. Remember? 3 words. What are they?
Karma, vikarma, akarma.
Karma, pious deeds, punya, right? Vikarma, forbidden activities, pa, and akarma. Karma that is without desire for self-gratification. Any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker, and that is the real aspect of vikarma as explained herein before. Text 21. Nirashiyata chitatma
Nirasiriyata chittatma
tyakta sarva parigraha
tyakya sarva parigraha
shariram kevalam karma
shariram kevalam karma
kurvam napnoti kilbisham.
kurvam napnoti kilbisham.
Such a man of understanding, alright? So such a man of understanding. Nirarshi yata chitatma. Nirarshi, without desire for result. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled. Tyakta sarva parigraha. Gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Shariram kevalam karma. So they are working only as much as required. Kurvam napnoti kilbisham. Thus working is not affected by sinful reactions. We've got this body, so we have to eat, we have to sleep, right? We have to take bath, right? So all these things happen. We catch cold, we have to take care what to do. So it's like when you are in the ocean, you're bound to be wet. right? So as soon as you take birth in this material world, disease is going to attack you, old age is going to come, everything will come as soon as your body takes birth, right? This janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, as soon as you take a body, material body, janma, mrityu is sure, jara, old age, vyadhi, disease is guaranteed. But you, the soul, you continue to act for Krishna. And we accept what as minimum as possible. A Krishna conscious person doesn't expect good or bad results in his activities. His mind and intelligence are fully controlled. He knows that because he's part and parcel of the Supreme, the part played by him as a part and parcel of the whole is not his own activity, but is only being done through him by the Supreme. When the hand moves, it doesn't move of its own accord, but by the endeavor of the whole body. A Krishna conscious person is always dovetailed with the supreme desire, for he has no desire for personal sense gratification. He moves exactly like a part of a machine. As a machine part requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance, so a Krishna conscious man maintains himself by his work just to remain fit for action in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. He is therefore immune to all the reactions of his endeavors. Like an animal, he has no proprietorship even over his own body. A cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession, yet the animal does not protest, nor does it have any real independence. A Krishna conscious person fully engaged in self-realization has very little time to falsely possess any material object. For maintaining body and soul, he does not require unfair means for accumulating money. He does not therefore become contaminated by such material sins. He is free from all reactions to his actions. Is it clear? Clear? We're on text 22 now. You want to put on the 1.5? You can put on 1.5.
Whenever you're having the course, it's okay.
Yeah, but just put, I think everybody's feeling hot now. Just push it this way. Put it in the middle. Put it in the middle. In the middle. Okay. One only.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, put it. It came. Oh, God, we're wasting time, no?
Yeah.
Just leave it. Just leave it. Now it came out. From the main plug, it got unplugged.
Oh.
Alright. Now switch this one off. Just put it on 0. Okay. Alright, simple work. You don't put it on 2, on 1. Put it on 1. So everybody's satisfied. Text 22. Yadricha labha santushto Dvandvatito vimatsaraha
Sato Vimassara
Samasiddha Vasiddho Cha
Samasiddha Asiddho Cha
Kritvapi Nibadhyate.
Vikvapi Naividyate.
He who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled on the performing actions. And just few days back I heard, remember there was a young brahmachari, he was giving a class here in the temple. He said such a beautiful point. He spoke of Hanuman. Everybody loves Hanuman, right? Everybody think he's my hero, right? Hanuman. He worked for Ramachandra, he conquered Lanka for Ramachandra, right? So much work he did. And he said, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right? Where's Hanuman?
On the Kapidwaja.
Yeah. He is on the
Carry.
plug. And what is he doing there?
He's
Protecting.
roaring.
Huh?
He's roaring. Like every time he was roaring, so more sound is coming because he's also roaring.
He was roaring, yes. And what else? Was he doing anything else?
Protecting.
He was listening also.
He wasn't doing anything.
Ram to the Bhagavad Gita.
He wasn't doing anything. Right? So this brahmachari is such a good point. He says sometimes, like we just read, sometimes Krishna wants to use us. Right? Here in this Mahabharata, Krishna is using who?
Arjun.
Arjun. Right? In Ramayana, Ramachandra is using Hanuman. Alright? And Hanuman didn't protest. He didn't protest. Why did you not also put me on this battlefield and let me fight, right? He was there to do small service, to make the sound of victory. Alright? He was there only as the symbol, the sign of victory. That whenever anybody would see Hanuman, Kapidwaja, right? Whoever will see that sign of Hanuman will become afraid. Like so, this is so nice. I mean, I didn't even think of it. This young boy just like, gave this example of how Krishna sometimes gives us huge service, sometimes gives us small, right? And both are das,
Yes.
right? They're das. He who is satisfied with the gain which comes of its own accord, which is free from duality and does not envy. This is the point here. There's not envy. Right? Oh, why you gave this seva to him? Why you didn't give me any seva? So even among bhaktas, sometimes there is,
Competition.
there could be envy. And here, Krishna is saying, who does his own work, who is satisfied of what comes of his own accord, of its own accord. Its own accord meaning by providence. Right? Like providence is coming. Does not envy anybody. Why this one is famous? Why am I not famous? Why this one has so many followers? Why I don't have so many followers? Right? Today this is what it is all Facebook, right? Instagram. We are counting. A Krishna conscious person doesn't make much endeavor even to maintain his body. He is satisfied with gains which are obtained of their own accord. Meaning that when we are born, right, we say on our hand, on our forehead, right, we say, our destiny is already there and my food is already destined. Right? This is what it means, comes of its own accord. He neither begs nor borrows, but he labors honestly as far as in his power, and is satisfied with whatever is obtained by his own honest labor. He doesn't beg, he doesn't borrow, but he labors honestly as far as in his power. He doesn't allow anyone's service to hamper his own service in Krishna consciousness. I gave the example of Hanumanji, right, and Arjuna,
Yeah.
right? So Hanumanji's service was to sit on the dwaj, right? That's it. He was not supposed to jump from the dwaj and catch hold of the rein, right? I mean, just see how you have to be obedient, right? See, sometimes people are lazy, right? They'll say, I will do only my own work, and I'm not going to do
Yeah.
beyond, right?
Mm.
It's my quota of work, I'm not going to do beyond. This is also to be condemned, all right?
Yeah.
And then to do also what is not your work is also to be condemned, right?
Mm.
So Hanuman, you see, he's ever ready Hanuman.
Mm.
Meaning whatever work is there, he will do. Says, go and bring, Sanjeevani. He ran, right? He doesn't know what is Sanjeevani.
Brought them back.
Brought the whole
Yeah,
world.
so meaning that why do you send a monkey to look for Sanjeevani,
Mm.
right? But he's obedient. He's obedient. He said, I don't know how to do. I mean, sometimes you say, ask somebody, please go and fetch something. Say, oh, I can't find it. How come I can't find it? Why they can't find it? Because they don't bother to look for it. Right? So Hanuman, he didn't know what he's looking for. So many herbs are there, right? He's not an Ayurvedic doctor, right? He's been given an instruction. Go and bring Sanjeevani. So Hanumanji is so famous for what?
For his obedience.
For what? Carrying that mountain, right? We have seen Hanumanji in this posture, but mostly we have seen Hanumanji, right?
Yeah.
Carrying that mountain. This is a symbol of how obedient he is, even though it's not his work.
Mm.
Right? So, he does not allow anyone's service to hamper his own service in Krishna consciousness. So, if two devotees are there and one person is feeling envious of the other, right? So, he said, no, I'm not going to do. This person is bothering me, right? Is bothering me. So, no, I will still do my work. Doesn't matter. Who is envious, who is not envious, doesn't matter. I am fixed on serving Krishna. I'm bringing out these points because we find in the Sangha of devotees this happen. As soon as there is some difference of opinion or somebody shouts at somebody else, one will drop the service. I don't know why Prabhupada wrote this, but he must be having experience, right? Devotees must be doing this. That's why you have to remember that this Bhagavad Gita, even though it is being given out by the thousands and the millions, actually it's meant for the devotees.
Yes.
Alright? It's meant for the devotees. And Srila Prabhupada is writing to give instructions to the devotees. So he's saying, if somebody is bothering you in your seva, you just ignore. I should focus on my seva. Don't let anybody hamper my seva. What instruction Prabhupada is giving you? Yeah. However, for the service of the Lord, he can participate in any kind of action without being disturbed by the duality of the material world. So our favorite example is Hanumanji. Alright? Mountain, home. The duality of the material world is felt in terms of heat and cold, just like now, right? We are suffering heat and cold.
Yeah.
Misery or happiness. Sometimes you don't know why you're feeling so miserable, you want to cry.
Right.
You don't know why. You can't tell anybody why I'm feeling like crying. Right? This world is so miserable. But even though you're feeling like crying, still you continue with your service. Like Arjuna. Completely depressed. Confused. But when Krishna is giving instruction, he is standing up and he is. Right? Misery doesn't overcome him. Happiness, he's so happy he forgets his service. So much in the mood of enjoyment. Who is that? Was it Sugriv?
He
He became so happy, right? He
He
forgot his seva to Ramchandra.
Yeah. When he got back his kingdom.
Ooh. See, this is how we are. We are so happy we forget Krishna. A Krishna conscious person is above duality because he doesn't hesitate to act in any way for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, he is steady both in success and in failure. These signs are visible when one is fully in transcendental knowledge. Believe me, this Bhagavad Gita, however many times you may read it, you will never, it's never going to be enough. We have to be reminded again and again and again and again, the same thing. Right? Text 23. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthi. Yes, Chen. Gata sangasya muktasya
Gata sangasya muktasya
jnanavasthita chetasaha
jnanavasthita
yajna charata karma
yajna charata karma
samagram praviliyate.
samagram praviliyate.
Gata Sangasya, of one unattached to the modes of material nature, Muktasya, of the liberated, Jnana Avasthita, situated in transcendence, Chetasaha, whose wisdom, Yagnaya, for the sake of Yagna, Krishna, Acharita, acting, Karma, work, Samagram, in total, Praviliyate, merges entirely. The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Becoming fully Krishna consciousness, one is freed from all dualities and thus is free from the contaminations of the material modes. He can become liberated because he knows his constitutional position and relationship with Krishna, and thus his mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Consequently, whatever he does for Krishna, who is the primeval Vishnu. Therefore, all his works are technically sacrifices because sacrifice aims at satisfying the Supreme Person, Vishnu. The resultant reactions to all such works certainly merge into transcendence and one does not suffer material effects.
Okay. Let's examine this one. The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Now we'll start this whole section is going to start about yogya, alright? And we should learn properly what all this means. Becoming fully Krishna conscious, one is free from all dualities. Which duality?
Misery, old and weak.
No. So we're dripping, I hope you're transcendental. He can become liberated because he knows his constitutional position in relation to Krishna. And thus his mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Meaning nothing will make him give up Krishna consciousness.
Ekaha.
Nothing. Not that somebody suddenly become wealthy and he lives aside Krishna consciousness. Somebody becomes popular and gives up Krishna consciousness. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, na kavita. These are what attracts people and make them give up Krishna consciousness. Or fights. Fights among devotees. Conflicts among devotees. Right?
Yes.
Nothing will budge this person from performing Krishna consciousness. His mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Consequently, whatever he does for Krishna, who is the primeval Vishnu. Remember, Vishnu is equivalent to yagya. When we do yagya, right? This is Vishnu. So whatever activity I'm doing should be as yagya for satisfaction of Vishnu. Therefore, all his works are technically sacrifices because sacrifice aims at satisfying the Supreme Person Vishnu, Krishna. Yagya acharataha karma. Yagya. So now you know what is the meaning of yagya?
Yes, sacrifice also.
Yes, whatever activities I'm doing it for the sake of Vishnu. The resultant reaction to all such works certainly merges into transcendence, and one does not suffer material effects. So maybe, we could make a list, right? We can write today, what did I do for Krishna? Which has no karma.
Yes.
And what did I do today for myself? Good or bad? Right?
Sacrifice.
Yagya.
So technically,
Hmm?
the meaning of sacrifice, like we say, like I have sacrificed this for that thing. I have sacrificed. So that sacrifice is like, and both are same.
Yes, sacrifice meaning that I have overlooked my own comforts and pleasures. Right?
Another question is that is Krishna or Vishnu is same thing?
Vishnu and Krishna. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mataji,
Hmm.
here that means it says merges entirely into transcendence.
Yes.
So this transcendence, but we don't believe in merging.
No, transcendence.
So this is
Meaning that which is beyond this material world. Let's go on. Now we will understand what is this transcendence. These are important questions. We're not speaking of Brahman or impersonalism here. Transcendence meaning that we are, like right now, we are all transcendental because we are listening, we are learning. Right? This is not, this material world, right? Even though I'm little in discomfort, but I'm not thinking about it. Right? Because I'm reading Krishna's words and I'm reading the Guru Parampara Prabhupada's words, right? So therefore it's okay if it doesn't bother you. For me, I'm fine, right?
yes.
Text 24. Now, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir
Brahmahavir
Brahmavano Brahmanahutam
Brahmanahutam
Brahmaiva Tena Kantavyam
Brahmeva Tena Kantavyam
Brahma Karma Samadhina.
Brahmakarma Samadhina.
Brahma, spiritual in nature. Arpanam, contribution. Brahma, the supreme. Havi, butter. Brahma, spiritual. Agno, in the fire of consummation. Brahmana, by the spirit soul. Uttam, offered. Brahma, spiritual. Angel. Eva, certainly. Tena, by him. Gantavyam, to be reached. Brahma, spiritual. Karma, in activities. Samadhina, by complete absorption.
Yeah.
A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature.
Yeah, I will read it. I'll read it because the purport, I mean, it's too big. I'll have to take line by line. So, a person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, we have just described that person, okay, is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom. Meaning, after leaving this body, sure we enter into the spiritual kingdom. Why? Because of his full contribution to spiritual activities. Because his entire life is only working for Krishna without any sense of proprietorship, without envy, without being hampered by criticism, right? In which the consummation is absolute. Consummation meaning that work that I have done, it is accepted, it's being like eaten up, right? In that yajna, we put fire, right? We put sesame seed and all the samagri in that fire and it gets eaten up, right? My activities, which is 100% Krishna conscious, our activities, which is Krishna conscious, it gets consumed, meaning there's no karma. Alright? Is absolute, and that which is offered is the same spiritual nature. Meaning, whatever we are offering, it is also spiritual. Alright? For example, we don't have putting meat in that yajna, right?
People do alcohol.
No meat, no alcohol, no forbidden stuff. Okay, now. How activities in Krishna consciousness can lead one ultimately to the spiritual goal is described here. There are various activities in Krishna consciousness and all of them will be described in the following verses. But for the present, just the principle of Krishna consciousness is described. Now, this verse is vital because the principle is being explained. And you cannot miss any class. Because if you miss the class, you won't get the list. Alright? You have to come. A conditioned soul entangled in material contamination is sure to act in material atmosphere. And yet, he has to get out of such an environment. We are in the material world, so it's sure that we are going to do something that is material. But it is also like we want to come out. So how to come out? This is what is being described here. The process by which the conditioned soul can get out of the material atmosphere is Krishna consciousness. How will you come out? For example, a patient who is suffering from a disorder of the bowel due to overindulgence in milk product is cured by another milk product called curds. So we have to find a process by which we can come out. Right? the materially absorbed conditioned soul can be cured by Krishna consciousness as set forth in the Gita. So Krishna is going to give us a series of activities, steps, dependent on who we are. He will give us a set of activities that if we do this, we will walk out. We're not going to jump. All right? Because we can't do it. If we tell you to jump, we'll go crazy. So we have to walk depending on who you are, remember? Some people are going to this loka, some people are going to that loka. Different loka, you're coming from different places. Right? Maybe from down also we are coming, right? But somehow by good fortune, we meet a guru and poke it into our head. We must surrender to Krishna and say, yes, yes, how? So depending on who you are, process is given. Alright? This process is generally known as yogya, or activities, sacrifices simply meant for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Krishna. For example, if I like to eat, well, I offer to Krishna first. Right? If I like to eat simple, offer to Krishna. If I like to eat opulent, offer to Krishna. Alright? Doesn't matter. But offer to Krishna. The more the activities of the material world are performed in Krishna consciousness or for Vishnu alone, the more the atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption. Meaning that the more you do it for Krishna, the more you become absorbed in that activity for Krishna. Absorption. See, everybody wants to do some work with absorption. If you have children, right? If your child is just looking here and then doing some work, how do you feel? Right? You want someone to give one slap. Right? Focus, focus, focus. So all those small training that is given in childhood, if it is in the right direction, right, will help you become a yogi. Because whatever activity I'm doing, we must be absorbed in it, we must get absorbed in it. The word Brahman means spiritual. The Lord is spiritual, and the rays of his transcendental body of Brahmajyoti, his spiritual effulgence. Everything that exists is situated in that Brahmajyoti. But when the Jyoti is covered by illusion, Maya, or sense gratification, it is called material. The material veil can be removed at once by Krishna consciousness. Okay. Thus, the offering for the sake of Krishna consciousness, meaning my offering, my arpanam, whatever arpanam I'm doing, is for Krishna. The consuming agent of that offering or contribution, the consuming agent meaning that yagya, or that supreme person who is accepting, or the process of consumption, the contributor and the result all combined together, Brahman, or the all combined together, Brahman, or the absolute truth. Meaning, the Supreme Lord, Brahman, you have become Brahman because your intention is to please, right? The object that you are offering is also Brahman. The work that you are doing, For example, that Mataji brought a donation. This is Brahman. Alright? Like the food that I am offering, it becomes Brahman. It gets spiritualized. My entire body, which is material, when I give it for Krishna's seva, it becomes Brahman. Right?
Right.
When I'm distributing that book, that energy that I'm using to stop people and give a book, right? This is Brahman. Alright? Matter dovetail for the cause of the absolute truth regains its spiritual quality. So, this food that we cook, alright? Is it material or is it spiritual?
Spiritual. Material is converted.
It is material, right?
Material.
What
We
is
offer
material?
it.
What is material? Prabhupada explained in this purport. Originally it is spiritual. Alright? Originally it is spiritual. Why? Because it's coming from Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Right? The supreme provider. Vishnu is providing.
Yes.
Right? So it is his energy. But this Jeev, he doesn't see Vishnu. Alright? He doesn't see a material veil. Right? There's a Maya Shakti, a material veil that doesn't allow you to see that this object is actually spiritual. So it becomes, so that food becomes material. Then I want to just hug. Eat, right? Anyway, I don't like to say or think, but everybody knows you go to parties, right? Everywhere you see how people, the first activity is eating, right? Or dressing up. Right? Like the gopis, they would dress up for Krishna's pleasure. They will practice, they describe that the gopis are always practicing how to dress. Everything is set nicely, jewelry, their hair is well done, their clothes is well done. But when Krishna plays the flute, they don't know which part goes where. Right? They don't know where the makeup is supposed to go. They look like funny children and they are running into the forest as soon as Krishna's playing the flute. Because they are not attached. Alright? So, they don't say, wait, let me fix everything properly, because they want to look nice. The same jewelry can be decorated in a materialistic woman, or the same jewelry can be decorating Krishna's body. Right? Material and spiritual. The flower can go in the hair of the materialistic woman, right? Or it can go in Radharani's, this, what do you call that? Braid, right? So, conversion. So, what do we do? That flower that goes to Radharani can be offered back to us. It becomes spiritual. Krishna consciousness, the process of converting the illusory consciousness into Brahman, or the Supreme. When the mind is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, is said to be in Samadhi, or trance. Anything done in such transcendental consciousness is called yajna, or sacrifice for the Absolute. In that condition of spiritual consciousness, the contributor, meaning yourself, the contribution, whatever you're giving in sacrifice, the consumption, meaning now, it has to be absorbed. See, like we eat food, we have to consume it, right? But that food, when it is offered to Krishna, it is consumed by Krishna. All right, the conception, the performer or leader of the performance. I just take something that we are always doing. We are collecting donations, right? So you are the leader of the performer or the leader of the performance. You take from somebody and you offer to Krishna, right? And the result or ultimate gain, meaning what will come out of it, right? If somebody is offering something, you want something back, you expect something back. What it is? Everything becomes one in the absolute, the supreme Brahman. That is the method of Krishna consciousness. All right?
This word must be samadhi or trance. In
Yeah.
English, we call
Trance.
So
Trance.
transcendental.
No, trance, not transcendental.
So that word is
Samadhi. Samadhi. Your dhi, your buddhi becomes sama. Alright? It's no longer running in million of direction. Where will I get this? Where will I get this? Right? Planning all the time. How can I be successful here? I have succeeded. How can I succeed there? Right? Now we are focused only on pleasing Krishna. This is called yoga. Alright? The source of all our misery is this. We are running bahushakha hi anantasya, right? Not ekeva kuru nandana. Bahushakha. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeva kuru nandana. Not many branched. Bahushakha. We get confused. Then we fall in illusion. Right? All business people, you know, right? You live with them, you've seen how they mess up their life. Right? Everybody knows this. I didn't know anything, I heard everything. Right? Okay, I think we should stop here. We have eaten sufficiently.
one question I had. Like you said that if we go to heavenly planets, like they can do bhakti in heavenly planets.
Well, yes, definitely, but they're too much in enjoying mood.
Actually, I had heard that they can't do bhakti.
Well, there are higher planets than Swargalok, Maharlok, Tapalok, Janalok. So they can continue if they escape. You know, Swargalok is too much enjoyment. They can do. But this earth, Teacher Swamiji explained, he said that, see, there are two paths. This whole Brahmananda, we are in the middle, right? Bhulok, we are in the middle. There are this Patal Lok, which are all this Tala Lok, right? These are all down, right? And then there are 7 Loka up and 7 Tala down, right? So they are actually subterranean. Meaning, so if you draw a hole, okay, if you draw a hole through planet Earth, you will go down, down, down. This is called subterranean. Billa, we call it Billa Swarga, meaning a hole, right? So all the Tala are down there. And if you look up in the sky, then you find all the different lokas. Sun, moon, these are all heavenly planets. Right? So, there are 2 methods to come out from this material world, which is explained in Bhagavata. So, either you move up from Swarga, you move up Jana, Mahar, Tapa, Satyalok, and from Satyalok then you can go out. When Lord Brahma becomes liberated, if by good luck he is a devotee and he goes back home, back to Godhead, you go along with him. And if by ill luck he wants to again come back in this material world, then you're stuck, you stay here. Alright? But on planet Earth, there is an opening to go back home, back to Godhead. So these holy places, Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri. These are the most potent openings in Kali Yuga. The most potent opening, because everywhere else everything is contaminated. And false yogi go there, right?
Jagannath Puri.
Vrindavan, Mayapur. Mayapur is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So on planet Earth, there is a door where you can come out.
Portals.
There's a door, portal. Okay, portal. Yeah. So you can come out. So that's why
That's in Mayapur.
Mayapur, Vrindavan, or
Jagannath.
Jagannath,
All
yes, the dham, or you bring them into your own homes, right? If you become Krishna conscious, your own home becomes Vrindavan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
By meditation, your own home becomes Vrindavan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings a very beautiful song. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gora Chandri Arati Kasura. So he's saying, he's doing arti of Jagannath, of Gaur-Nitai, and he's seeing the whole worship of Gaur-Nitai. I mean, there's other. Yeah. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Shigora Hari. This song. You have it? Yes. Bhoga Arti. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Shigora Hari. Shigora Hari Sohe Koshta Bihari. Nanda Yashomati Chita Hari. I don't have this song with me. Sing this beautiful song. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is doing arti of Gaur-Nitai in his home. Alright? And he's having a vision of Krishna and Balaram in Braj. This entire song is describing how Mother Yashoda is calling Krishna. Nanda Baba is waiting. Come and take your lunch. So then Krishna Balaram all came with all the sakha and they lined up. Then what are they eating? So this beautiful song is describing this. I should bring my songbook. I didn't bring my songbook. On your phone. Bring a songbook. So this is how by samadhi trends. So we are in the material world, but by samadhi we are saying Braj Dham. Alright. Okay, I think this phone is going to die now. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.